Thank you so much for joining us for another edition of All Angles. I'm Dion Jackson and a very special welcome to our viewers on onespotmedia.com. So we are talking about two topical issues on today's program: the recent furore over the nationality of PNP candidate Dr. Shane Alexis, who is a Canadian citizen within the Commonwealth but not a Jamaican. That has reignited a long-standing debate: who should sit in the Jamaican Parliament. Also, we're going to be looking at the declaration of the second zone of special operations here in Jamaica. You might call it ZOSO 2.0, and that's been declared in Denham Town, West Kingston. We'll be getting reactions. We'll be hearing from persons inside the community and also talking to our guests in studio. And speaking of our guests in studio, with us this evening, we have Director of Communications in the Office of the Prime Minister, Robert Nestor Morgan. Also with us, Chairman of the PNP, and he is a spokesman on national security for the opposition as well, Fitz Jackson, and Attorney at Law and political commentator Paul Ashley. First, though, TVJ's Giovanni Dennis has this overview.
The controversy surrounding the nationality of PNP candidate for Southeast St. Mary Shane Alexis has reignited discussions about who should sit in Parliament. Last week, this item of news.
On the campaign trail, the PNP's Dr. Shane Alexis referred to himself as Sugar Shane, the Jamaica Labour Party using his tagline threw this punch at the candidate after it was revealed that he's a citizen of Canada.
Shane Alexis is gone from sugar to last night imported sugar. Based on today's findings, he is now Canadian maple syrup. What a shame. What has the People's National Party come to?
The JLP acknowledges that as a Commonwealth citizen, Dr. Alexis is allowed to offer himself as a candidate in the upcoming by-election. However, questions are being raised about whether he's committed to Jamaica, given that he does not hold a Jamaican passport.
Dr. Alexis had a genuine commitment to the people of Jamaica. He could have, just as he stamped or went to the trouble of getting his Canadian passport stamped with permanent residency in Jamaica to allow him to travel freely, he could have used the same effort to go through the process of becoming a naturalized Jamaican, if in fact he really felt the passion to be a Jamaican.
Giving the example of his dual citizenship matter in 2007, West Portland MP Darrell Vaz is also questioning the moral authority of the PNP.
In relation to what they put me through as a Jamaican citizen and the trauma, not to mention the $25 million, for them to turn around and ask the Jamaican people to vote or elect someone who has no ties to Jamaica other than a permanent residency is a scandal.
Member of Parliament for Western Portland, Darrell Vaz, raised what he called a moral concern that Dr. Alexis is a Canadian national who wants to sit in Parliament. Dr. Alexis is a Canadian citizen and has held a Grenadian passport in the past, but he's not a Jamaican citizen. The People's National Party has insisted that Dr. Alexis is a Commonwealth citizen and has been duly nominated.
The PNP has deemed as desperate the assertions by the JLP regarding the citizenship of Dr. Shane Alexis. The PNP is arguing that Dr. Alexis grew up in Jamaica and has served Jamaica in several capacities, including as president of the Medical Association of Jamaica and the Jamaica Medical Doctors Association.
I'm not surprised if other things won't be concocted to distract from the candidate, distract the candidate and to distract the voters from supporting the candidate. But we will continue to bring our message to the voters. The candidate is there on a daily basis.
Since the uproar, the PNP has said that Dr. Alexis has started the process of becoming a Jamaican citizen. However, it's not the first time that the issue of who should sit in Parliament has dominated national discussions. In the past, Darrell Vaz himself, as a U.S. citizen, was at the center of a similar controversy. In 2008, the Court of Appeal declared that Vaz was not qualified to sit in the Jamaican Parliament and ordered a by-election for the seat.
We begin this evening with a court ruling that has turned the political community on its head.
The Supreme Court has agreed with the PNP's Abe Dabdoo that West Portland MP Darrell Vaz should be disqualified from sitting in Gordon House because he's both a United States and a Jamaican citizen. But
Chief Justice Zayla McCalla did not agree that the seat should be turned over to the losing candidate. she has determined that a by-election should be held.
We begin our team coverage of this major story with Archibald Gordon, who was at the Supreme Court for the ruling.
Emerging defiant despite defeat. West Portland MP Daryl Vaz at the center, his wife and JLP Deputy Leader James Robertson on the flanks.
Well, a victory for the people. The people who elected me, I still remain to represent them, so it is a victory for the people who elected me, and by extension myself. So let us just give God thanks.
For now, the West Portland MP will not vacate his seat in Parliament despite the ruling. That's because Chief Justice Zayla McCalla has granted a stay of her judgment that Daryl Vaz is not qualified to sit as a Member of Parliament because he's a United States citizen. The Chief Justice said while Daryl Vaz is a U.S. citizen because of his mother, he has pledged allegiance to a foreign government by renewing his U.S. passport on more than one occasion. The Chief Justice also contends that by traveling on his passport, Daryl Vaz is also acknowledging allegiance to the U.S. But the Chief Justice argued that despite the fact that Daryl Vaz was not properly nominated to contest the seat, it doesn't mean that the man who took him to court, Abe Dabdoob, should automatically become the MP, as his attorneys have argued. The Chief Justice argued that while Abe Dabdoob had notified constituents in West Portland of the dangers of voting for Daryl Vaz, that was not enough to turn over the seat to Abe Dabdoob.
And so we're obliged to appeal.
Gail Nelson represents Abe Dabdoob.
The counter notice issued by Mr. Danville Walker through the media, saying that the notice issued by Mr. Dabdoob is to be disregarded. The court ought not to have relied on that to say that a counter notice would have had the effect on the electors of nullifying the notice issued by Mr. Dabdoob. Because the authorities say that there need not be a notice issued by Mr. Dabdoob. If the information, even in the media, is so notorious that the electors know that Mr. Vaz is a citizen of the United States.
As for Daryl Vaz, it's not clear whether his attorneys will also appeal, though they have also sought a stay of the judgment. But the West Portland MP is defiant given the prospect of a by-election.
The fact of the matter is that the decision could have gone against me, and it didn't. So the fact that by-election gives you the opportunity to go back to the people, and those are the same ones who elected me just 8 months ago. So I'm more than confident that they will do the right thing again.
Should there be a by-election, sir, will you give up your U.S. citizenship?
Absolutely, absolutely. I have a responsibility to the people who elected me, and I have a desire to continue to represent them. So that is without question. If that is what is the basis for any speculation, we can put that to rest right now.
Vaz renounced his U.S. citizenship, ran in the by-election, and returned to Parliament. The controversy at that time largely focused on Section 40 of the Constitution, which speaks of the circumstances which disqualify someone from sitting in Parliament. This time, attention is also centered on Section 39, which states that any person who on nomination day is a Commonwealth citizen 21 years and over and has lived in Jamaica for the preceding 12 months is qualified to be a parliamentarian. So the Constitution itself does not state that a parliamentarian must be a Jamaican citizen. Many people think the Constitution needs reform.
Yes, definitely. I think when they hold Jamaican citizenship alone, that shows their commitment to the country. You know, that shows a commitment to the people. You don't want somebody who, when the ship is sinking, they jump off and go somewhere else.
Yes. Because they're seeking to represent us Jamaicans, so they should be fully Jamaican. I think they should only hold Jamaican citizenship. Reason for that is because they are political leaders and they're leaders for our specific country.
No, I don't think so, because you're not a Jamaican citizen. I don't think so.
It's like you're actually giving sovereignty to two different states where the interest of the people is kind of confusing, where it's actually I should say probably a smoke screen for certain some people, where it's caused a confusion where like only a citizen for two states and not one. So why not pledge your citizenship and allegiance to one state?
Yes, because they're representing Jamaica, period. So I think that in order to represent, I think you should be a part of the citizenship all out.
Not at all. First of all, the Constitution as it is permits people
who have Commonwealth citizenship to run for elected office. So it's legal if you have a Commonwealth citizenship. Number two, as a member of the diaspora, which I am, it's sending us a wrong signal. We contribute immensely to the day-to-day development of this country.
You can live two places and want to run the country. Somebody who live here is supposed to run the country.
I think that Jamaicans who want parliamentarian roles should be Jamaicans, because I think they understand Jamaicans on a whole, they understand the culture, and I think they're more respected being a Jamaican.
Yes, I think they should own citizenship because they represent us as a nation, so they should earn that.
If the citizenship is of the Commonwealth, I think it's all right.
It is a case where they are serving the country, yes, but I believe that they should be allowed to live their own lives outside of politics.
In fact, Prime Minister Andrew Holness says he intends to bring the issue to Parliament for it to be addressed once and for all.
We have to go figure out now, because some important questions are raised. Should someone who is not a Jamaican, who doesn't hold a Jamaican passport, should that person sit in our parliament and make laws for you? And that is an important question that needs to be answered. We have to ensure that Jamaican citizens are in our parliament, and that people who are not sworn to other powers and other countries that have obligations to other countries are not in our parliament making laws for us.
For All Angles, I'm Giovanni Dennis.
Okay, lots of chew over there. Let's go to the break and start chewing when we come back.